we're not perfect, and we don't have life perfectly figured out. We have times when we struggle. If we didn't, we wouldn't need each other for support anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So none of this is stuff you have to do. None of this stuff that we're saying we're completely right on. If you find something we're wrong about, great. Let us know. Or find something, if you find something better than what we're doing, let us know. We're both open to feedback and always looking for better ways. I'm an optimizer. I'm trying to optimize every area of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just optimizing for different things than I used to. Before it was perfection, and now it's for connection and openness and efficiency. And
Mm-hmm.
I've optimized my optimizing to create more happiness in my life.
Mm.
But none of this you have to believe, none of it you have to do. We just found it so helpful in our lives and have seen so many people struggle and have helped so many people who were struggling, and had even one little piece of this that can change people's lives, that we wanted to offer this to as many people as possible, in the hopes that someone might find it helpful, even if it's a tiny bit as helpful as we found it.
Yeah, we didn't want everybody to have the same struggle that we did. We would have loved to have had this information when we were middle school, high school. We've heard many people that we've gotten to work with say, why don't they teach this stuff in middle school or high school? It would have saved so much collateral damage. And then when they asked us, well, can you work with teenagers? Can you help somebody out? We were like, yeah, let's give it a go. The biggest piece that I would like to leave you with about anxiety and stress is that it really is not the world that's causing your stress. It's not your job that's causing your stress, and it's not your friends and family or your spouse or kids. They are not causing your stress. It's what your mind is doing with what they're saying and doing and what's happening in front of you that's causing your stress. So the bad news is you can no longer blame all those people for your stress. Or you can't blame the world or the politicians or the world events or your kids for your stress. But the really good news is, because it's your mind that's creating your stress, you can do something about it. And it doesn't need to be medicated.
You can keep blaming them. It's free will, you can choose to. But if you believe even a part of what we've said, and part of it resonates with you, then in our belief system, the way both of us operate in the world is that I am responsible for what happens in me.
And I'm responsible for how I feel.
What I want to leave with is all of us are wounded. I've never met somebody that didn't have some wound at some level. Maybe I did and I didn't recognize it. But all of us seem to have our flaws and our coping mechanisms that don't work. We do too. We're not perfect. This stuff that we're talking about is stuff we actively practice and work on and try and improve and get better at.
And it keeps evolving. In 12 years, it's been evolving like crazy.
Yeah, 10 years from now, maybe we'll do none of this stuff. All of us are wounded. All of us are struggling in some way. Most of us are suffering to some degree or another. For me, that instills compassion. And I recognize that all the people around me are probably struggling at least as much as I am. I at least have all these tools and this huge support network. But most people don't seem to have that. They don't know these things, and they don't have that level of support.
And many people don't even have physical conversations, face-to-face conversations with another human being for quite a long time.
Yeah. When I was in middle school, I would go days at a time without saying a word to anyone. But the good news is, having been to the depths of suicidal depression, standing on a bridge, looking down, trying to figure out if the jump would kill me or not, and only that lack of certainty that it would, that I might just be maimed instead, preventing me from doing it. Being at that point where I was about to end my life and thinking life was only getting worse, it is my belief that however bad it is, it can get better. It might be really challenging. It might be terrifying. You might not often know what the right answer is, but it can get better.
Many things that are going on in our lives are things that we don't like. And our mind can put all kinds of adjectives on it, but the truth is we don't like it. And it happened. And what I found is the quicker I can get to the acceptance of I didn't like that, but it happened, then I get to start working on my response to that. And getting that most of the things that happen outside of me, I'm not in control of. And then I can be with it differently. And then I get to be with people differently in those types of situations. I have a lot of love coming forward for you to hear you talk about it. At one point, you almost thought about ending your life. And I'm really grateful for whatever that was. I'm guessing it wasn't this that made you step back and choose life. So you could be with me here now. Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, I'm complete.
Okay.